welcome to the newly launched Friday Spotlight, a new series of X-Forces Enterprise podcasts. I'm Ren Kapur, founder and chief executive at X-Forces Enterprise, and as a reservist for the British Army, my favourite military motto is leave no one behind. And I think this sums up perfectly our aims and objectives of the podcast, where our community is supporting the community. Since 2013, X-Forces Enterprise has been helping members of the military community to start their business journey through training, mentoring, funding, and ongoing support and connections. This new series shines a light on our X-Forces Ambassador network and business champions. These amazing individuals from all over the UK have been hand-selected to support others. With their unique backgrounds, business experience combined with their military skills has stood them in good stead in the business world. Here, they generously share their expertise and experiences with the community. We hope you enjoy the episode. In today's episode, X-Forces Marketing Executive Dan Pearson talks to Carrie Moss, owner of Edith Limited, about her recent appointment as X-Forces Ambassador and follows her business journey to where she is today. Here's 3 things that I love about Carrie's podcast: battling loneliness, and also emphasizing loneliness can shorten life and what she has been able to do about it through her interventions. And finally, one of my other favorites is that Carrie only came across XFE in March 2020 via her husband's plans to transition, and as a spouse found XFE in a magazine. Both Carrie and her husband took a Zoom course, but from different locations in the country. Then Carrie attended the Business Continuity Masterclass, brainstorming ideas with others within the Armed Forces community. And from there, Carrie has been able to move forward with a couple of areas that she felt that there were glass ceilings. We hope you enjoy listening to Carrie.
Welcome to the XFE podcast. Today we have special guest Carrie Moss, owner of Edith Limited and Grandy's Granddaughter, as well as being a newly appointed X-Forces Enterprise Ambassador for the East Midlands region and business captain on the XFE Hub, the platform we launched very recently. So welcome, Carrie. Pleasure to have you with us today.
Hi, Dan. Thanks for having me today. Quite excited.
Good. It would be great to get some background on your 2 companies and also your journey that got you to where you are today. So how did Edith Limited and Grandy's Granddaughter start, and what was your inspiration?
Okay, so I'll start with Edith Limited. I started in the dating industry in 2013. So my company is a personal matchmaking service and singles network. So I specialise in veteran dating and forces dating, but we're not limited to that. So anyone that's single, we ID check everybody and we verify so it's a safer way to date. My mission is to combat loneliness, which is where Grandy's Granddaughter comes in. So Grandy's Granddaughter is my sister business, which deals with adults with learning disabilities as well as elderly people that need to get back out in the community. So I go out and make sure that they are not suffering from being lonely. Because it's quite staggering that there's a 45% reduction in your lifespan for loneliness. That's not for everybody, but that is it. That's a hard fact. So it really does. It's a passion of mine. My grandparents are my inspiration for both businesses. They had a 70-year relationship and they even died within 11 weeks of each other last year. They came through lots of difficulties because they were, my granddad was dark skinned and my nan was white. So back in when they met, it was quite a hard time for them. So seeing them go through all those challenges, and my background as a military wife, as well as my expertise in the dating industry, I decided to go and help other people.
Nice. Yeah, that's really moving and powerful, actually.
Thank you.
How long have they been going, and what are some things you're sort of proud of or maybe you've achieved along the way?
Okay, so Edith Limited was established in late 2017. I didn't start trading until 2019 because between those times I took a break and I studied psychology at a degree level. I looked into lots of other qualifications and built up the network. And I did that before starting to trade, because you can't open a relationship finding business if you only have one person. It's not like an accounting system where you can work with one person and build it up. I have to have a good base. And with my knowledge from 2013, I had lots of contacts and built up lots of networks. So yeah, we were established in 2017 and we're going really strong in 2020. Grandy's Granddaughter was established in 2018 and we only operate on a small number, because I think that to give a personal service and give both businesses the journey that they need and the attention that they need, to keep the numbers small.
Yeah, definitely. You talked about how your company is sort of aiming to tackle loneliness, to bring it into the sort of current climate. Have you seen sort of an impact on that? Loneliness with coronavirus and everything going on?
Absolutely. I was really worried about the businesses going into coronavirus, because with Edith Limited, we meet everybody. So we offer you a safer way today. We meet, we verify ID, and I get to know the person and what they're actually looking for. So we're not an app, we're not a website. We are all about the actual person. With Edith Limited, I found I was worried. I was really scared that how am I going to make this work? Because I'm normally away from the internet. I do everything with the person. But obviously there's lots of things, Zoom and Teams, that have really worked, and they've helped me build the business, because although I'm a face-to-face girl, I like people and body language, and that's how I like to get to know people. It's really good in the virtual world that I've still been able to connect with them face to face and get everything up and running in the background, so that when lockdown is lifted properly, we can properly start dating again. And it's, of course, we've just had to pivot. With my social care background, that's been absolutely fine, but I've had to change and help people rather than taking them out because they're vulnerable. I've gone out and done things like get their shopping for them and make sure that I'll have a phone call or a FaceTime with them, just to make sure that they're okay, because loneliness, as I said, it is quite relevant, and especially in this time, if you're left and not seeing anyone, it can be really awful. So yeah, lots of PPE, lots of hand sanitizer, and just lots of pivoting in business.
Yeah, amazing. I think it's amazing how people have adapted and businesses have adapted across the community. You mentioned being a military spouse. Could you talk a bit about how being a military spouse has influenced or shaped your experiences in starting a business, or your professional career as a whole?
Yeah, sure. I've had businesses before. I'm also a mother of 3 teenagers. When my teenagers were small and my husband is in the services, I needed to find something that worked around them. So I didn't want to sit at home. I have nothing wrong with that, but for me, I needed to work. So I did have a childminding business for 8 years. When the children went to school, I went back to work, and I did enjoy it, but I found it really difficult being a military spouse. And recently my husband is posted away from us, so I'm married unaccompanied, which means that I've got lots of hats. I've got 2 businesses to run, as well as 3 teenagers to look after. You think are easier than little ones, but they're really not. So being a military spouse has really, it's actually been quite a journey. We've been together for 20 years, so really I've grown up in the community, and I found that combining the 2 services of safer dating and military and veterans has really, it's been brilliant, because I am living the life that they're in. And I found that when people are matched together and have joined the services as a spouse or as a girlfriend or a boyfriend, it's quite prudent that I can say to them, or maybe you should try this, or these are the places you need to have a look at. And if you're going to your first function, what would you wear? If you don't know anybody, you're really nervous. So actually it's had a massive impact on my own business and made me resilient, actually, and pivot.
Awesome. Yeah, that's really good. So I was having a look at your website, Edith Limited, and sort of the story behind the company. And I noticed that you have had some training and support from ex-forces. At around what point in your business journey did you sort of connect with ex-forces, and what kind of support was that?
Okay, so I was quite established in my business when I found X-Forces, and that was actually fairly recently. It was in March of this year, so 2020. My husband is due to leave the military in 18 months, so he's starting the transition and resettlement and looking at what he wants to do. He brought home some magazines, which I found X-Forces in, and we both signed up for this self-employment discovery. And we signed up for two different reasons. My husband signed up because he does help in the background of the business and does all the technical stuff for me. And I needed a confidence boost, if I'm honest. When you're at home on your own and you start thinking, am I doing the right things? Am I going the right direction? So when I went on the course with Roger, it was brilliant because it reiterated what I knew and built my confidence, and it helped my husband understand the things that I already do. Because when you're husband and wife, it's quite frustrating if your wife's telling you, no, it's like this. So actually having a little bit of a mediator is great. It was the first Zoom one, so he was in 126 miles away from me, and it was quite strange being in the same course. I then joined the Business Continuity Masterclass, which I found excellent, and had some brainstorming with Martin and Ren and the other businesses on there, which was amazing. I honestly can't recommend it enough to anybody listening to this, because the ideas that came out of that really helped me pivot my business and it just helped me move forward. So then I went on some networking events with you, which have been outstanding.
Awesome. So pretty much all of the events that we offer.
Yeah. a little bit of a groupie.
Amazing. Is your husband going to sort of help you in your businesses, or is he going to start his own thing? Has he thought about what he's going to do after he's left? Or
my husband is going to join the reserves after he's left. Obviously, he likes the army, so he's also looking into cybersecurity as resettlement. But he does work in the background, so he built my website and he does all the technical things and all the policies and things like that, because that's what he does in his job at the moment. So it makes sense to use his strengths where I'm stronger with the people. I want to be in my business and know that everything else. And when you've got somebody in the military that has all that experience, then I'd be silly not to take advantage of his expertise.
Yeah, definitely. That's cool. So you mentioned that you've been on self-employment training and obviously the networking events more recently. And now you're XFE Ambassador for the East Midlands region. So as part of that role, you'll be hosting your own networking events, which is really exciting. How important do you think networking is, and having a supportive community, in your opinion, to growing a successful business?
I think networking is really, it's a crucial part of your journey. I think if you can have the best business idea in the world and the best business, but if nobody knows about you, then it's not going to get off the ground. And networking is really a free marketing tool. And when you look at something like X-Forces Network, they're so varied. There's serving people, there's spouses, and there's veterans. All the businesses are varied, and they're all at different levels, from self-employment up to established. There's so much advice and support there that you kind of feel like you belong. You've already got that like, know, and trust element, and people do recommend, and the community itself it's just heartwarming to be part of, really, and the banter is unique to the military. So yeah, I think that networking is imperative to any business, and a good network. If you go to a network that everybody wants to sell at you, you're really not going to enjoy it. So you have to enjoy with the keynote speakers, with the business knowledge you take away, and like I said, with the banter in it. And I found that having such a mix is brilliant.
Yeah, definitely. I found the sort of tri-service banter quite funny when I first joined. It's quite new to me, but between the different services, there's clearly some kind of rivalry going on there.
But it's a non-offensive, isn't it? So it is unique in the banter that you have, that people don't take offence to it. But yes, I agree, there's a tri-service kind of rivalry going on all the time.
So have you or your business already benefited from being part of that supportive community, or going to any of these networking events or anything like that?
Absolutely. Just you and I were having a conversation just before here where I'd been to a network, and because I'm in the dating industry, you automatically kind of face a little bit of discrimination. Whereas I found with Ex-Forces, they really, really welcomed me. And again, with another network, which is Milspo for the military spouses, they've been really welcoming because they understand I'm not there to sell to you. I'm there because everybody knows somebody that's single. Everybody knows somebody that's a little bit lonely. So I have partnered with a few veteran-owned businesses, and so we can offer events to people. And I've made some really, really good connections that I think we'll be in touch with as well as business, but on a personal level too. So it's been an extraordinary journey so far.
Amazing. Well, it's been fantastic having you on the podcast. Thanks so much for talking to me today. And again, it's amazing to have you on the Ex-Forces team as East Midlands Ambassador.
Thank you for having me. I'm really excited for the next step.
Our Ex-Forces Ambassador Network and business champions are absolutely fundamental to the Armed Forces community, imparting their knowledge to those looking into self-employment through our networking events and through our Knowledge Exchange Hub. The Hub is free to register and gives you access to a database of articles, the opportunity to match up with other entrepreneurs, plus access to all our free training and networking events. Sign up today at xfehub.com. We hope you enjoyed today's podcast. You can find us on all the usual social media channels, as well as at x-forces.com. Wishing you all the very best until the next episode.